Most sellers underestimate how simple upgrades matter in today's market. Today, we're talking about what truly makes a difference for our buyers. I'm Raul Jimenez with the Schrader Group, and we're joined today with Crystal Villalobos with Godfrey Homes. Crystal has an incredible eye for taking homes from lived in to show ready with simple, strategic upgrades that help them sell. So, Crystal, thank you so much for being here. And we know that you're known for seeing the potential in houses when you walk in the door. Something that might take somebody a little bit longer, but you're able to immediately hit what needs to be done. How do you decide how that process happens?
Well, thank you, Raul, for the invite. It's so nice to be here with you guys. Thank you for the trust. And well, the first thing I noticed, feeling of the home, light, layout, and flow. And I immediately asked a question: is like this home feels like welcoming, and if it's easy to live in. What I'm looking is that the buyers feel connected to the house when immediately step in or walk through the home.
So, great point, right? I like that. But how do you, because one of the questions I get asked all the time is, and what I like to do is say, I don't want to invest $1 if we're not going to get $1 back. So how do you decide which upgrades should be done or what should be addressed first?
Well, I focus on what's today's buyers value the most, which will be, to me, clean, make green ready homes that they feel like fresh and well care of, right? Immediately when we work together and we visit the house, I analyze the neighborhood, price point, competition, and maybe some trends, the market trends that I can recommend to the client, not just something like, oh, this is going to look nice because they're not going to live in the house anymore. But something like actually will help us to sell the house faster and for the better price.
So part of what we like to do, and most people are always on a budget, right? So what kind of inexpensive options are there that you wish more people would focus on?
Well, I wish sellers will focus more on things like, let's say, paint, lighting, and decluttering. These three things are very, very simple, but these are powerful. And the reason why just bringing some fresh paint to the house or replacing some updated like fixtures and remove excessive furniture, that complete transform the house, and you can do it yourself. I mean, you don't have to put a lot of money on it. You can do it yourself. You can even paint some walls, bring some fresh air on the home, and I think those things will be the less cost.
Yeah.
Right.
So when I hear what you're saying, I think there's a lot of houses, and that's why we're allowing you so much to go in there, because they kind of give you the bullet points of what needs to be done, but you kind of go in and make sure. I think sometimes people start a project and then they start overdoing it. I always say it's like if it's an older home, it's like an onion. Right? When you pull one layer back, there's another layer and another layer. How do you keep them engaged with, hey, these are the things that we need to do without overspending on projects that don't return very much?
Exactly. Well, that's a good question. And I always try to remind the sellers that we are actually preparing the home for sale and not for personal taste. My goal is to prioritize like the repairs or updates that they need to be addressed immediately in order to sell fast, right? And while avoiding updates that you will not get any return. And of course, I think sometimes less less is surely more.
So you've been working with us a lot. Gotry's gone in and actually helped stale product or stale homes that haven't had much traction kind of transform. And that's why we like to get you there earlier because number one, we trust you and you're great with our clients. But ultimately, can you share a success story with just a few little, tweaks or a little bit changes to the home that it actually ended up being something that actually was a success story for us?
Yeah, well, actually, I remember too many homes that I visit, and probably some of them we've been working with. But I remember one house that it was this seller living in the house, and the house was built in, and at the first, the house looks dated, and what we did, we bring some fresh paint. The carpet was worn and damaged, so we replaced it. And all this was under budget. We replaced also all the first floor tile. We put some LVP, and then the kitchen, we did some upgrades on the kitchen to make it look more fresh, but not going super expensive on the material. Like fixtures. And at the end, we added a little bit of like staging. I remember that house, we completed that job in 2 weeks. And then the house went on the market. A lot of people, we have some like immediately.
Yeah, our phone was ringing. Yeah.
And after that, the house, we received the first offer, I think. And I think the house was sold in 54 days.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's something that people overestimate. So sometimes the question is paint just enough? And then when you actually put it in a high gear and say, hey, we got to upgrade the Formica countertops to granite or something like that, because we're in a tougher market.
Yes, we're in a tough market, and I can tell you that when I talk to the sellers and they're desperate. But when I talk to them and I explained, it's like paint, it's enough when the home looks in good condition, but it looks dated. And updates are necessary or needed when they're very damaged or worn or very updated compared to the other homes in the area, right? So we're competing with other homes in the same neighborhood, so we need to be more aggressive in that point. But it always depends on the price point and the competition.
So I like that you spun it with the price point competition, because normally when I go on a listing, I'm there, then you follow after me. And sometimes I give them homework, and then you show up and they didn't do the homework, and then you got to tie them back to the project. What are some of those common mistakes that sellers do that could possibly jeopardize the selling process?
Well, I think the common mistake for the sellers is over-personalizing the home, right? Ignoring a small repairs or underestimating the importance of presentation. To me, that's really important. And sometimes first impression, it's really important for buyers, and they notice and they actually care. And you can actually see that online as well on the photos when you take photos for the showings.
All right, Crystal. So sometimes I'm in houses and we're talking about that they know that they need to do the upgrades, but they don't want to do it because they don't want to paint the walls. And then somebody else comes in and wants to paint them a different color or do an upgrade because they feel that the client that's buying the house should make that decision. They don't want to spend money. They're going to change it. What kind of advice, and why is that not such a great idea in today's market?
Well, we have a very, very competitive market right now. So the buyer will turn off and we will not get any showings. We have to be very honest with the client. They have to invest a little bit to make the house look fresh and clean at least. And I mean, we hope to do it that way.
Yeah. And I think the best part of that is we're selling today, not tomorrow's future or their ideas. So if we don't have someone walking in the door, then it's not even going to get an offer. And then if we think about doing it later, and then we've already lost 60 to 90 days, which means typically the price comes down. So I think that's wonderful. Final advice to people that want to maximize their value with just your kind of expertise.
Well, I think I will say listen to professional guidance, and I will say also stay open-minded. If we give you a recommendation, we're professionals. We've been doing this for so long, and you have to hear someone from the other side, not just on the feeling side, because and it's a tough process, and they're very attached to their homes, but they need to think we are selling our homes, and we need to prepare the home for buyers. And you're not going to live here anymore, but we need to make this house ready, and you have to invest. And also, I will, if they take the time to prepare the house in advance for the seller, and the family will be less stressful. If you don't prepare the house with enough time, by the time you have showings and you have work, kids, activities, everything, well, the house will be already painted or upgraded, done, repairs done, and it's going to be easier even for them to sell the house. It's going to be a smooth process, and I'm ready to go.
Wow. Thank you, Crystal, for all the insights and really, truly how the right upgrades can maximize your home's value at the end. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day.